Welcome to another episode of Dox'n Reality, and I am your host, mistaPARADOX. There's a dark, looming thought I've had for quite a few years. All this round-the-clock propaganda, this fear-based programming that they are putting us all through about, the camps, the mass graves, and all that shit. The manpower it would take to do a lot of that is enormous. And I really think they are following out of the what is that book? The Art of War. When you're weak, appear strong. When you're strong, appear weak. And right now, with this overwhelming display of propaganda, they're probably a lot weaker than they appear to be. But you keep putting on this front 24/7, eventually people will believe it. You develop that reputation. But that's neither here nor there. Point I'm trying to make, all this wave of propaganda, it's not for us. All this constant fear-based programming is so when the next generation that comes after us, probably the kids or the next generation after that one, so however many years in the future, when they look back to this time frame, they're gonna use this as an excuse to justify all the fuck shit that they impose in the future. Brave New World style, 1984 style. Oh, well, we had this many wars. We had these outbreaks, these diseases, these pandemics. So we had to take away your freedom. We had to force you. And because so many people are still sending their children to these mass indoctrinating centers called schools, in which they're now starting to mandate, people are going to be so brainwashed, so conditioned that they're just going to go along with it. And all this news that they're doing right now, they are literally rewriting history, just like they're rewriting your genetic information. I'm going to say that.
We just crossed the threshold.
Shit gets deeper. You get the picture?
So think of it this way. Try to imagine yourself in your child's shoes, who's, I don't know, a newborn or some shit at this time. Imagine when they go to school or imagine their children or whatever. They look back at this time frame just like we look back at the 60s, 70s and all that, and we look at it like, damn, that time was fucked up. But to the people who are living in that time frame, they were like, man, it's just another day for me. Like, I don't know, like the news always says this, and yeah, I'm seem to be doing just fine. That's what it's gonna be like for them when they look back and say, "Oh, that's terrible. I can't." Wow, and they're probably gonna ask the question of, or some people in that generation are gonna be like, "Well, why didn't y'all do this? I mean, y'all saw this coming, right? Like, it had to be obvious." That's what it's for. It's not for us. It ain't got shit to do with us, cause they know each generation, they're slowly, diluting the fight that's inherent within every individual. Like back in World War II, that generation, the generation that used to survive, that knew how to thrive, go out hunt, trap, and when I say trap, I mean actually, bear skins, hunting, and trapping skins and all that. People who could survive basically in the wilderness, they started becoming domesticated slowly. World War II, they still had fight, and as time goes on, people get more comfortable. They know how to do less things, so they become dependent on this big brother type system. Now imagine the generation the generation after this, the couple of three, couple five after this. Imagine how they're gonna be. They're not even gonna know what outside is. They're not even gonna know what actual sunlight is, probably, especially if they go through that whole blocking out the sun shit. Imagine how that's gonna be for people who've actually seen it, and eventually people like me, who are telling people this, are gonna be looked at as the raving lunatics. Like, oh my god, that guy hasn't seen anything. He's just talking. Don't listen to him. And you know they say there's nothing worse than an old fool. But yeah, that's just a little rant I've had. Just a little thought I had. But make sure like, dislike, share, just interact with the video. And this is your host, mistaPARADOX, over and out.